The Liar by Stephen Fry, Chapter 1. Adrian checked the orchid at his buttonhole, inspected the spats at his feet, gave the lavender gloves a twitch, smoothed down the waistcoat, tucked the ebony malacca cane under his arm, swallowed twice, and pushed wide the changing-room door. "Ah, my dears," he cried, "congratulations, congratulations to you all. A triumph, an absolute triumph." "Well, what the fuck's he wearing now?" they snorted from the steamy end of the room. "You're an arse and an idiot, Healy." Burkiss threw a flannel onto the shiny top hat. Adrian reached up and took it between forefinger and thumb. "If there is the slightest possibility, Burkiss, that this flannel has absorbed any of the juices that leak from within you, that it has mopped up a single droplet of your revolting pubescent greases, that it has tickled and frotted even one of the hideously mired corners of your disgusting body, then I shall have a spasm. I'm sorry, but I shall. Now, girls," continued Healy, "you're very high-spirited, and that's as it should be, but I won't have you getting out of hand. I just looked in to applaud a simply marvellous show, and to tell you that you're certainly the loveliest chorus in town, and that I intend to stand you all dinner at the embassy, one by one, over the course of what I know will be a long and successful run." "I mean, what kind of coat is that?" "It is called an astrakhan, and I am sure you agree that it is absolutely the ratherest thing. You will observe it fits my sumptuous frame as snugly as if 'twere made for me. Just as you do, you delicious Hopkinson. Oh, shut up! Your whole body goes quite pink when you are flattered, like a small pig. It is utterly, utterly fetching." Setting a spouted foot on the bench that ran down the middle of the changing-room with elegant disdain, Adrian began to flip through a pile of Y-fronts and rugger shorts with his cane. "I was particularly taken with that number in the first act, when you and the girls from Marlborough stood in a line and jumped up at that funny leather ball. It was too utterly utter for words, and Lord, how I laughed when you let the Marlborough chorus run off with it. Dear me, this belongs to someone who doesn't appear to know how to wipe his bottom. Is there a name tape? Madison, you really should pay more attention to your personal hygiene, you know. 2 sheets of lavatory paper is all it takes, one to wipe and one to polish. Oh, how you skipped after that Marlborough pack, you blissful creatures, but they wouldn't give you the ball, would they? They kept banging it on the ground and kicking it over your lovely goalposts." "It was a referee," said Goodison. "He had it in for us. Well, whatever, Goodison, darling, the fact is that after this wonderful matinee performance, there is no doubt that you're all going to become simply the toast of the town. Certain unscrupulous men may call upon you here in your dressing-room. They will lavish you with flowers, with compliments, with phials of Hungary water, and Methuselahs of the costliest champagne. You must be wary of such men, my hearts. They are not to be trusted." What will they do to us?" "They will take the tender flower of your innocence, Jarvis, and they will bruise it." "Will it hurt?" "Not if it is prepared beforehand. If you come to my study this evening, I will ready you for the process with a soothing unguent of my own invention. Wear something green. You should always wear green, Jarvis." "Oh, can I come too?" said Rundle, who was by way of being the tart of the house. "And me?" squeaked Harmon. All are welcome. The voice of Robert Bennett Jones bellowed from the showers. Just shut up and get bloody dressed. You're invited too, RBJ. Didn't I make that clear? Bennett Jones, hairy and squat, came out of the shower and stumped up to Adrian. You're disgusting, Healy, you know that. Bennett Jones snarled into Adrian's face. Just plain fucking disgusting. The others, some of whom had been peacocking about the room, stroking their towels round their napes like boas, staggered to guilty halts. You're a fucking queer, and you're turning the whole house into fucking queers. Queer, am I? Said Adrian. They called Oscar Wilde a queer. They called Michelangelo a queer. They called Tchaikovsky. And they were queers, said Sergeant, another prefect. Well, yes, there is that, conceded Adrian. My argument rather falls down there, I grant you. But what I say is this. My door is always open to you, RBJ, and to you as well, Sergeant, naturally. And if either of you has any problems in coming to terms with your sexuality, you mustn't hesitate to visit me and talk about it. Oh, for God's sake, we can thrash it out together. Personally, I think it's your habit of dressing up in shorts and prancing about on a field, and this bizarre obsession with putting your arms around the other members of the scrum and forcing your head between the buttocks of the back row that is at the root of this insane fixation. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Let's fucking throw him out, said Sergeant, advancing. Now, I warn you, said Adrian, if either of you touches me... Yeah, sneered Bennett Jones. What'll you do? I shall sustain a massive erection, that's what. And I shan't be responsible for the consequences. Some kind of ejaculation is always bound to ensue, and if either of you were to become pregnant, well, I should never forgive myself. This was just enough to bring the others down onto his side and have the prefects laughed into retreat. Well, my lovelies, I shall have to leave you now. I am promised to the Princess Despina this evening. A little baccarat after supper is my guess. She means to win back the Kurtzenoyer emeralds. Jarvis, you have a stiffy. This is most unpleasant. Someone throw some cold water over him. Good night, Lou. Good night, May. Good night. Ta-ta. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night. They said that when Healy arrived, he had got the highest ever marks in a scholarship entrance. Once, in his first term, Cartwright had been bold enough to ask him why he was so clever, what exercises he did to keep his brain fit. Healy had laughed. It's memory, Cartwright, old dear, memory. The mother of the muses. At least that's what, Thingamy said. What? Oh, you know, what's his name? Greek poet chap wrote the Theogony. What was he called? Begins with an H. Homer? No, dear, not Homer, the other one. No, it's gone. Anyway, memory, that's the key.